I rented a room on Airbnb, but the host wouldn't stop watching me. Have you ever felt that unsettling feeling that someone's watching you even when you're alone? I didn't just feel it, I lived it. I'd booked an Airbnb for a solo getaway, looking forward to a relaxing weekend in a quiet neighborhood. The listing was beautiful, cozy, modern, with lots of great reviews. I was excited, but as soon as I arrived, things felt off. The host greeted me at the door, which seemed polite at first, but his eyes lingered like he was studying me. He showed me around the house, but never seemed to leave my side. I tried to brush it off, thinking maybe he was just trying to be friendly, but he kept making small talk, asking me personal questions about my plans, where I'd be going, what time I'd be back. It felt intrusive, but I told myself I was overthinking it. After all, he had good reviews, right? That first night, I couldn't shake the feeling of unease. Every time I opened my door, it seemed like he was nearby, just standing in the hall or tidying up nearby. I closed my door, hoping for a sense of privacy, but later, I heard faint footsteps, pacing back and forth outside my room. I tried to ignore it, convincing myself it was an old house with creaky floors. But then the next morning, something chilling happened. I was in my room getting ready to go out when I glanced up at the air vent. A small, almost imperceptible light was blinking from inside. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but as I got closer, I realized it was a camera. My heart pounded as I looked around, horrified. If there was one camera, who's to say there weren't others? Suddenly, the whole room felt like it was closing in on me. My privacy had been completely shattered. I didn't know how long he'd been watching or what he'd seen. As I tried to process this, I remembered the way he'd been asking about my plans. How much did he know about me? I felt trapped, vulnerable. That night, I barely slept, every noise sending my heart racing. I checked the clock constantly, waiting for daylight, feeling like a prisoner in what was supposed to be my sanctuary. When I finally built up the courage, I confronted him. His face went pale, and he mumbled excuses, saying it was a security feature he'd forgotten to mention. But his eyes betrayed him. There was something unsettling in his expression that sent chills down my spine. I felt like he was daring me to question him further, but I couldn't stay there any longer. I told him I wanted to leave, but he stepped in front of the door, blocking my way, his eyes fixed on me. He insisted that I stay, that I'd feel better once he explained things. Panic set in. I pushed past him, my heart racing as I grabbed my things and fled, half expecting him to follow. Once I was out of there, I reported him immediately, but I couldn't shake the feeling of violation, of being trapped in a place where I thought I'd be safe. To this day, I can't forget the feeling of being watched in what should have been my own private space.